This is the biggest challenge.
They're full barbarians.
No escape.
There's just no break.
It's a little much to handle this guy.
Oh my God, how are we going to get through the day?
Really.
My name is Courtney Oliphant.
Doug Oliphant.
I do a lot of gig work in and around writing and theater. I manage a theater company. Then I also do content marketing, freelance writing.
I'm primarily identifying as a theater director still. However, my full-time job is as a fundraiser at the Broad Stage.
Hi, my name is Jackie Henderson. I am a teacher at an upper elementary school in Stockholm, Sweden, and I have 2 kids, ages 5 and 2.
My name is Amber. I work as a positive discipline parent educator. I also am a Keeping the Joy in Relationships master trainer. I have 2 boys, age 6 and soon to be 4 in a couple of weeks.
My name is Rachel. I am a development manager at a local dance facility, a performance director at a local ballet studio for children. I am also mom to a nearly 7-year-old. His birthday is in 10 days.
My girl she'll be 3 at the end of the month. My boy is almost 17 months, so he's like a year and a half. So like 3 and a year and a half.
They're my kids too.
Sorry, you are the biological father of the children.
My son is 1.
I have something to tell you.
And my daughter is going to be 3 too.
I am a married mother of a little 5-year-old boy named Will. My husband and I are both at home. My husband is working from home. I'm doing some work from home, but mainly I'm trying to interact with Will and make sure that he's happy and engaged.
To clarify, we are both working from home, which is great. It's a blessing that we both have jobs right now when so many people don't.
I just feel so grateful to still be working because so many people are out of work and can't work right now.
You know, my husband's work really is our primary income. So I do have more flexibility than I know a lot of other people have. I'm really grateful for that.
But we also don't have childcare. So
Yeah, because all the childcare centers shut down as well.
yeah, so I think I'm probably going to have to end up taking some sort of leave.
Teachers are considered an essential worker here in Sweden, much like healthcare or transportation workers. So although everyone here is encouraged to work from home, and many, if not most people are, being an essential worker means that I am expected to be at my job if I am healthy and able, even though my school is already doing partial distance learning. And so this means that childcare is still being provided for my kids during the day.
Work has like pretty much gone because now I've moved into full-time parenting that my kids are home.
My industry has been really, really busy. So I've been even more busy than normal, actually.
And my boys don't understand that, yes, daddy's home, but he's not available.
Because of that, it's like compounded the pressure on Christina because I'm home, but I'm more busy, so I can't handle the recent influx of like having 2 kids constantly being barbarians around the house.
The biggest challenges and concerns for our unique situation, we are Americans living abroad, and we have been living abroad for about 8 years. It's juggling the emotional side of being so far away from our families. In this circumstance, it really has tested our limits in a way and made us really think about what is important to us and things that we're really valuing over here. Then also it's difficult when when you look at the news from different areas in the world, it's very difficult to compare.
People without kids are talking about like boredom and feeling like claustrophobic, and people with kids, it's like we're more busy than ever.
I don't have a lot of time to do other stuff. People are like, attend to this class or Zoom with your friends. And I'm like, when?
Write the novel, read the thing. Like, come on, you guys. Like, who's writing a novel right now? People were like dealing with like a huge crisis, you know?
I'm working 9 hours and then I'm with my son for the other 5 hours while doing other things. It's a little crazy.
It sounds bad, but it's the truth, so I'll say it. Like, you go from having to deal with your kids a couple hours in the morning and a couple hours in the afternoon and in the evening to like all the time. And you're like, if I knew I had to spend all day with you every day, what the Like, it's so different. It's so different than what you signed up for when you had kids.
I am divorced, and typically I have my son about 60% of the week, and his dad has him 40% of the week, which gives me necessary time for myself to do work or, breathe, whatever it is. And right now I have him 100% of the time.
If I want to do anything creative or, even trying to sort of connect, network, trying to generate work in some way, it would have to be at night.
We each have multiple calls usually throughout the day, so that's the tricky part, is who's going to watch him.
My Zoom sessions are filled with my child running back and forth behind me in various states, and so it can be hard for me to have conversations with board members and my boss while my son is also asking me to fill his bubble wand or get him a snack.
I never do know when and how long they're going to be self-sufficient to be playing on their own, how much time I'm going to have. So I have just sort of resigned myself to saying I'm going to get what I can done. And sometimes, it takes waiting for them to go to bed in the evening to get things done. And some things just don't get done.
You just cannot get the same amount of work done, focus, when you're trying to take care of a kid.
When we first started all this, he was in a difficult phase.
We had to put floor mats all over the floor, like gym mats, so that they just like wouldn't kill each other.
He was tantruming a lot. Probably a tantrum a day.
It's like a full American Gladiators event at all times inside of our living room.
We're all tired of each other.
It's definitely like a pressure cooker.
It's just this huge burden and a huge stress and a huge unknown, and the kids feel it.
He's asked us a number of times, when can we go over to so-and-so's house? We're very social, and he's used to spending a lot of time with friends, and that's just not happening.
If she even sees a playground, she's going to have a meltdown. So I just can't even, our world very quickly shifted. I was like, okay, like we can go to like a little patch of grass where I know there's literally nothing to climb on, and that she can be like, why aren't we going there?
Luckily for him, his birthday was just before all this happened, so he got to have a party and everything. Those kids that don't get that, I think it's a struggle for them to understand. My son's birthday will now be a Zoom party, or 3, with different families, and that's a little hard.
My eldest has been really struggling emotionally with what's going on. They discuss it a lot at daycare, and so they understand what's happening, but they're not quite grasping exactly what it means, why they can't go outside and play with their friends, why we can't have play dates.
We had friends come by a few weeks ago. They're like, hey, we're going to drive by. We're going to sit in our car outside and we can like talk. You guys can sit in your driveway and we'll just talk. We're just like so starved for human connection. And they have a little boy who's our daughter's age. And it was like she wanted to go see him and he wanted to go see her. And they were just,
It was a little bit of a
it was like a
nightmare.
meltdown, because it's like you can't explain, like, well, there's this thing and it's called a virus and you can't see it, but it's like if you touch him you could get it, and like that could make you sick, and if you get sick I get sick, if I get sick Grandpa gets sick, and if Grandpa gets sick he dies.
We were getting ready for bed and he said, Mommy, I'm really sad. And I said, why are you sad? And he referenced a film where they talked about emotions, and he said, sadness is turning everything blue. And it really hit me. I was very grateful that he could express to me how he was feeling. And then we could kind of talk through a little bit, and I validated his feelings because it is scary and it's okay to be sad. But then of course I wanted to be sad and I want to cry afterwards. I think that's been the real struggle, is trying to be strong for our kids when we don't know what's going to happen and we don't have the answers for them. It's difficult supporting them when you're also dealing with your own emotional shortcomings with the situation.
There's going to be all these kids growing up that spent at least a month, perhaps several months, like never seeing other kids, just like living alone with their parents. And like, there's going to be some sort of collective commonality between this, among this generation of kids who are like going through this right now. And I wonder what that is going to be. I don't know what it will be, but
I also keep thinking about this meme that I saw really early on, which was, imagine 2030 and a son is talking to his mom. He's like in college and he says, "Mom, we just learned about the closure crisis in 2020. Can you tell me about that?" And the mom talks about, her fears and concerns and worries over the virus. And she says, "But son, you were, 8 years old. Don't you remember it?" And what the son says is, he says, "I remember that we were home and that we spent a lot of time together and we cooked, and it was more time together than we'd had in a really long time."
I think there are a lot of upsides that have come out of the situation. As Mr. Rogers put it, you look for the helpers.
Day drinking sometimes.
It's not so bad.
a full-fledged alcohol addiction by the time we get out of this
It's not
is
good.
it's a willing trade-off to get through this.
Really, what's keeping us going is looking for the silver lining.
I like to see the silver lining in all this.
In a really kind of odd way, I've been enjoying the slow pace of everything. Everything just feels like it's slowed down. And I think it's because this is affecting everybody.
There's also this small part of it that I think is an equalizer. Like, everyone is stuck in their house right now.
It's not that we're sort of just at home and the world is continuing on and it's fast paced elsewhere. Everybody is home. Everybody is slowing down.
I don't know. I kind of like being home. I'm an introvert in my heart, though I do miss my friends and I miss being able to see people and hug them.
Everything is kind of resetting in a little bit of a strange way, where it's like you are kind of going back into your family, into your unit,
We've bonded a lot as a family, especially me and my son. He's very much all about daddy, daddy, daddy. And we've gotten to spend a lot of quality time together.
Focusing on the family time, enjoying the small moments of being with my kids and my husband.
I think like the bond between them is going to be so insane because they're spending so much time in this close, really, really close way. So that's been really sweet. And I feel like because I'm with them so much, like I'm really able to see how they're changing day to day. Like in just like a really deep way. I'm like, oh my God, like he's getting, he's able to sit on his own more without like me holding him all the time, or they can read a book a little bit longer. My girl's talking, like having more conversations. So that's really sweet.
So I really am getting a great picture of how my son learns, how he is in the classroom, where are his weaknesses, where are his strengths. And I think ultimately, this is going to be a positive for his learning journey moving forward.
There are positives, and they keep showing up in unexpected ways.
I can tell you that me being able to continue doing workouts helps me through it, and just getting up at the same time every day. Yeah, just trying to keep the routine.
Trying to have a schedule, I think, is like the most. Trying to have breaks.
The sunshine goes a long way. Some grass, things like that.
We have a decent backyard that we just try to spend as much time out. There'll be outside time.
Like a lot of activities, we're trying to get outside, nature walks.
My boys will play outside.
I am spending time on my back porch, and I get to see right now our trees and bushes all growing in the back, and it's beautiful to watch happening.
And I find it so overwhelming how much people have banded together and supported each other.
This is the line for picking up lunches, and actually they include breakfast. It doesn't matter what your income is. It doesn't matter what your school association is, that everybody can come pick these up. This unexpected being home all the time is a financial strain. So the fact that they are helping with meals like this is huge to people like me, and I think to everyone.
My community's really stepped up. I'm so grateful that we have the relationships we have. My son, he phone calls my dad every other night.
Zoom, FaceTime, that's really helpful.
He phone calls his dad every day, and they talk and read books or do science experiments. He calls one of his babysitters every other day, and both sets of grandparents are doing Zooms with him throughout the week just to give him something else to do, and it gives me a little break, which is amazing.
And I know a lot of people are really, really stressed and anxious about what's going on, and we have our fair share of that. But I think, like I said, trying to look for the silver lining and the positives and focus on those has really been helping.
I think for your sanity and emotional well-being, you have to focus on that, because it's so easy to fall down the rabbit hole of, well, the news says this, or these are the numbers, and it can be overwhelming, and you can really make yourself sick from that. So I think focusing on the positives as much as you can, and some days you have to force yourself to look for the good, because it is there. And I think, if anything, it's proven that people are innately good. I think it's been really beautiful, and it's just sad that something so horrible has really made many people's eyes open to humanity, and just how much we need to hold on to that and value that.
What do I want people to know?
Following and sticking to the schedule routine as much as possible is probably the thing that saved my sanity.
I find routines and consistency to work best for children.
Especially with stress levels and anxiety running wild, having a consistent routine has really helped with that.
The boys have a morning routine that they do. So this is the one that we've come up with during quarantine, but it's breakfast, get dressed, poop, because that's important, take vitamins, and brush teeth. So that's their morning routine.
I think having like a little bit of a schedule, but then again, not getting tied to the schedule is helpful.
You don't have to be a teacher. You weren't necessarily trained to be a teacher.
Really having no training on how to teach kindergarten concepts, especially current kindergarten concepts, because they're not the same as they were when I was in kindergarten. It can be really tricky.
I read my son's ELA work, and it's foreign to me because I learned English and reading in the late 80s, right? So it's just different.
Teachers, you're amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you for all your work. I've always known that, but maybe we haven't always said it as much as we need to.
I think you're a blessing, and I think teachers, as always, are completely underappreciated, and you guys are rock stars.
So thank you, teachers and educators and all my friends and family who do these things.
I guess if I was going to say anything to, other parents I work with, teachers, really anybody right now, is to really be easy on yourself.
We're all in this together. We're going to come out in the long run and know that whatever you're doing, it's enough.
Parents are amazing, and it takes a special type of person to be a parent. And I think that even on your darkest days, you just never know what you're capable of. And at the end of the day, if you love your child and you're there for them, that's all that can be asked of you. And you're not going to do it perfectly, and we're going to struggle, and we're going to make mistakes, and we might say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing and let our flaws show to our kids. But showing up is the best thing that we can do for them.
And find what feeds you and makes you happy, and make sure you get those things in.
Just in general, I think we need to continue to be kind, and we need to be aware that we're all struggling. It doesn't matter what country you're in, where you're from, that we're all in this together, and we need to continue to build people up and stop pointing fingers and just continue reaching out and being helpers.
I think there will be a lot of tears when we get back together, just from gratitude of being able to touch each other. Yeah, but you're enough. We're doing enough. We're going to make it. Thanks.
Say bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.